Hey guys, it's Bina, and today I want to go over not a budget craft for the crossbow that I use on my mortar cannon build, but the endgame craft, which you can pretty much almost guarantee every stat. There's a little bit of RNG, but like for the most part, it's almost all deterministic. So I'll go over how to do it exactly so that you can do it as well. Of course, after these kind of videos, sometimes the prices change. So this is just to show you the method that you would use. It would be like the same method in SSF as well, right? So first, you need to get a item level 82 crossbow. We're using a siege crossbow. This highest base and has grenade skills, fire an additional projectile. So it needs to be item level 82 to be able to roll all the highest mods on the item. So you need to have a fractured increased physical damage roll on this. Ideally, you want as high as possible, increased like as close to 179. Tier 1 mod. You can do this on other tiers of mods as well, but for, you know, the investment that you put into your craft, I highly suggest going with a tier 1 mod and having it fractured. If you don't know how to fracture, I am not going to show it. I'm not going to exactly do it on this video. I already have a fractured base. But what you would do is use a fracturing orb, which are these things. It fractures a rare with at least 4 modifiers, and it locks the fracture in place. So the increased physical damage here will never change. Even if you define it, even if you like, it will just never be removed from the item, right? So the fracturing orb, it will select on a rare item with at least 4 mods, one of them to fracture. The trick here is to have 3 mods and 1 desecrated mod, so that the fracture can never target the desecrated mod. So you have 1 out of 3 chances of hitting the affix that you want. And so that's how you fracture items. And then afterwards, when you have a lot of once you have a lot of affixes on it, you would annul it down to only 1 and then start the craft, right? So let's go over the craft right now. So the first step is getting the fracture. Second step is going to be using chaos orbs to reroll into as high as possible flat physical damage. If you're trying to craft for yourself or to resell, you can settle on tier 2 flat physical damage and it's still fine. You'll be able to get a good craft out of it. But ideally, you probably want to go for tier 1. So we're gonna just spam like, okay, tier 3. I thought we already had tier 1. I am tempted to settle for tier 3, but I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna go for tier 2 at least. God damn it, we hit tier 2 in 5 chaos. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. Tier 1 is about, on average, 400 and something chaos orbs to be able to hit it, and about like over 1,000 for a 95% chance to hit it. My first few crafts, I have gotten pretty unlucky, and then sometimes you just get very lucky. So because I hit this tier 2 fizz in only 5 chaos orbs, I will absolutely start crafting with this. But okay, you might want to go for tier 1 if you're looking for absolutely like giga crossbow and you have like a lot of currency. So now the next step is going to be getting the third prefix. The third prefix is the random part here. So everything else is guaranteed. You are guaranteed to get +3 levels of all skills, +2 ballistas, and grenade explode in additional time. So this is the only other step. Since it cost me so little, if I get something bad, I could always start over, right? Since it didn't cost me much, many chaos orbs here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my omen of, where is it? So that my exalted orb will only add prefixes. I think I don't have any more. So let's do this. Let's buy them for, I guess for chaos. Prefix, you want to use, yeah, Omen of Sinistral Exaltation here. Dude, what am I doing?
I'll fill that in as soon as
All right.
I can.
You want to use an Omen of Sinistral Exaltation with a perfect exalted orb. You're trying, like, you are investing into the perfect exalted orb because you want to get a third prefix that is a high damage stat. So no matter which one you get, ideally you get a good one. Okay, let's just buy some more exalts.
Right away.
I'm going to buy a perfect exalt with our exalted orbs. Okay, let's go like this.
Have an order?
Are we that unlucky? Okay. Are we that unlucky? So you want to use your Omen of Sinistral Exaltation so that your Exalted Orb will only add prefix. So you right click this and you use your Perfect Exalted Orb. That will make it so that it has a minimum modifier level of 50. And just so I can explain a little bit as how that works. So minimum level of 50 is when you go onto PoEDB, if you go into modifiers and then you go into Crossbow, you will have all of the Crossbow modifiers that you can get on your craft, on your Crossbow. So because we are selecting 50, minimum eye level 50, this removes a lot of different crafts that you won't be able to get anymore, right? So since we're going for a prefix, you will not be able to get from tier 10 to tier 6 cold damage, for example. The only tier 5 plus is going to be available. So it removes a lot of bad mods, and it adds more chances of getting the good mods because you have less modifiers on the item, right? So that is how that works. That's why we're going for this. So we hope to get any sort of damage mod here. And then we got tier 5 cold damage. It's going to be fine enough for us. If you don't like what you get, say for example, you only get accuracy, you could always restart the craft. But, you know, for me, I'm going to be selling this crossbow, and this crossbow is going to sell just fine like this. So now the next step is going to be adding 2 suffixes, and hopefully you get +5 level of all skills, but if you don't, it's not that big of a deal. So you want to go for an Omen of Greater Exaltation here. Your next Exalted Orb will add 2 random mods, and for this one, we are going to grab a Greater Exalted Orb. So modifier level 35, because we don't want to spend too much. You're very unlikely to hit +5 proj. Since we already have all the prefixes filled, since the item can only have 3 prefix and 3 suffixes, unless you're using some other crafting stuff, but base items, 3 prefix, 3 suffixes, so we are guaranteed to add suffixes with these exalts. So the Greater Exaltation will add 2 random mods instead of only 1 with an Exalted Orb, so we save a little bit of currency with this. So now, what we would hope for is to get plus level of projectile skills, so that we have a chance to get +5 and +2 ballistas, but we did not hit it, doesn't matter. We are going to be able to craft this deterministically either way. So Artificer's Orb to be able to add sockets to this. Let me just quality this while we are at this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use Astrid's Creativity. Astrid's Creativity, I don't think I have any more here. It's actually a socketable. Socketable, Astrid's... No, we have Surly's Triumph. Okay, so we're going to buy Astrid's Creativity. Astrid is the one of the big parts of the craft. And right now it costs 16 divine. This one goes up and down in price all the time. As high as 20, as low as like 6, 7, 8. It's pretty volatile in terms of the price. Like just like yesterday was like 8 divines, and now it's 16. But this allows you to have 1 additional crafted modifier on your item. So you need to socket this in, and this allows you to use 2 essences, for example. And what we're going to use is the Perfect Essence of Battle to get +3 level of all attack skills. And we're going to use the Rune Binder's Alloy to get +2 maximum number of summoned Ballista totems. Both of these are fairly cheap right now. The Rune Binder's Alloy is about like 1 for 3, 3 for 1 divine. And then the Perfect Essence of Battle is like you get 14 for divine. It's probably even cheaper if you pay with exalts. But what that means is right now you have 2 suffixes, and we're going to use a... Where is it? The Omen of Dextral Crystallization. So while this item is active, your Perfect or Corrupted Essence will remove only suffix mods, right? So it will only target the 2 suffixes. Our prefixes are done. And the all of the alloys are considered essences. So we're going to use Perfect Essence Battle and Rune Binder's Alloy until we get both on the weapon, right? So you start with Perfect Essence of Battle since it's the cheapest. Make sure that you activate your Dextral Crystallization. Boom, we get +3 levels. And then Rune Binder's Alloy. Make sure that it's still activated, your Dextral Crystallization. And bada beam, we got +3 level of attack skills, +2 number of Ballista totems. So this could take a few attempts until you know, it's a 50-50 on every shot. But until you get this, it should not take very long. And then you are guaranteed with a Desecration. You can use Omen of the Liege to guarantee a Amanamu modifier, and Preserve Jawbone to Desecrate. Since we only have an open suffix, it will always target the open affix. Boom. And then there's only 2 Amanamu modifiers that you can get, and one of those is Grenade Explode a second time. So we're going to go here. We're going to do this. Reveal. We are guaranteed to have grenades have it 22, it's 15, between 15 and 25%. Chance to activate a second time. You grab this. Boom. You go back to your hideout. And now we have a very nice crossbow. We have tier 1 Fizz, as high physical damage as flat physical as you rolled with your Chaos Orbs. A random 3rd prefix, but we have guaranteed grenades activate a second time, plus 3 level of all skills, and plus 2 maximum summon Ballista totems. So everything here is guaranteed except for 1 affix, which makes it probably one of the best builds to deterministically craft your weapon with 5 guaranteed affixes that are very good. And keep in mind, the plus level of all skills on Cluster Grenade, for example, it's not as valuable as some other builds. Cluster Grenades only get about like 6 or 7% more damage for each extra level. So some other builds get way more than this. This is still a very good craft, even though you don't get plus 4 or plus 5 level of all skills, because the grenades have a chance to activate a second time. Will actually, it's actually another multiplier of your damage, and it will make it even more consistent to get the double explosions on your grenades. So the next step here is going to be using socketables here. We're going to use Greater Iron Rune. So we don't need Astrid's Creativity anymore because we already got 2 of our rolls. So we're going to socket this in. And then you finish a craft with Masterwork runes. Yes. These are, I think it's like half a divine each or something like that. 62 exalts. We're going to buy a few. You finish a craft with Masterwork rune. So instead of buying a perfect iron rune, for example, which is way more expensive, you go, well, actually now it's like pretty much the same price. You can masterwork your greater iron runes like so, and then you have a very nice crossbow. What I did on mine is I put in Ancient Rune of Detonation for grenades have a 10% chance to activate a second time. Since I had like 25% chance on my crossbow and this 10 plus my passives, I now have 100% chance for them to activate a second time. And I value that more than a little bit more, raw damage on my grenades. So you do what you want. So I actually could not get this on mine. I had to add another suffix. So my crossbow, I did not craft with this method. I think this method is way better because you can, if you wanted to, you can still socket another 20% fizz, and you don't need to use Surly's Triumph. So this is very good. Now all that's left to do is look at it. We have an 817 fizz total DPS crossbow. One thing we could do, we see that the flat damage rolls are quite low. So you could actually divine this for a little bit more. If you wanted to get like grenade explode a second time a bit higher, or the flat damage a bit higher, you could divine this. So now we got 44 to 74 and 35 to 65 with 22% chance. This is way better. So I only spent 1 divine. You could spend more or less, right? It's up to you. We're up to 891 total DPS with plus 3 levels, plus 2 ballistas, and grenade explode a second time. This one's going for 200 divines. I don't think this is going to sell for that price. But even without the grenades, like the minimum price is 111 divines. So this makes it for a very nice craft. If you are able to get a fractured base with increased physical damage, you can pretty much guarantee almost all of the stats on this. So I hope that you learned something with this craft. I am trying to wrap my head around how to present this crafting system in PoE2 to people so that it is in a digestible way and that people understand it quite a bit more, because it is very complicated. For example, like the craft themselves are not that complicated, but it's just because you have to learn every single item of every single crafting method to be able to play with all of these tools to craft your item and come up with your own crafting recipes. So this league, I've messed around a lot with crafting, and this is why I've gotten with this method here to get a really nice crossbow. But there's a million different ways that you could do it as well. Once you know all of the crafting items and what they do, you know, when you're chaosing, you could say, okay, maybe I'm gonna try my luck at getting this other affix, and maybe I'm gonna like. There's a lot of modifications you can do. You can even look for rare items and try to just modify them a little bit to get to your desired crossbow or whatever other item. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys good luck with your crafts and your crossbows. And I'll see you guys in the next one.